I'm Karen Nelson, and you're listening to Becoming You Again, episode number 105. Welcome to Becoming You Again, the podcast to help with your mental and emotional well-being during and after divorce. This is where you learn to overcome the trauma of your divorce by reconnecting with yourself, creating lasting emotional resilience, and living a truly independent life so your life will be even better than when you were married. I'm your host, Karen Nelson. Welcome back to the podcast, my friends. I am so happy to be here. I love talking to y'all. I've had an amazing week. Besides the weather, can we just talk about the weather in Utah in the spring? It is very disturbing and not my favorite thing. And right now we have so much snow, a ridiculous amount of snow. We literally got like 2 feet. I'm not joking when I say 2 feet of snow the other day. We're almost to April here, okay? And I'm tired of it. And I just got back from Vegas like the day before. My daughter and I had gone down to the Taylor Swift concert, and the weather was so beautiful. It wasn't too hot, like sometimes Vegas can be. Like if you're there in the summertime, it can be very, very hot. It was perfect. It was like I can still wear my sweatshirt and take it off if I want, if I'm a little too overheated, but it gets a little chilly, like it was maybe 60, I think. It was beautiful, sunny every single day, blue skies. And then in comparison, as we like to do, we like to compare our lives to things, right? It's what we do as humans. But in comparison to Utah weather, this winter has been a very dramatic winter, shall we say. We've had lots of snow compared to the last maybe 10 years. So much snow, lots of overcast. And it's not necessarily my favorite thing, especially in the spring when I really wanted to just start to get warm outside. So that is my rant. Okay. I got back from some beautiful weather, came back to snow. A day of like clear skies, more snow, more snow, more snow. It's just nonstop snowing. What's it like where you live? Maybe someday I'll choose to live somewhere where it doesn't snow all the time. I have a friend, Coach. She's American and she's living abroad with her family. They've lived there for about 5 years and they live on the French Riviera. And every time we coach, every week, and we talk and we see each other through Zoom, I am just like, beautiful weather, warm. It's so amazing. So maybe one day I will get up the courage, like my friend, and move somewhere where they have more weather that I really want to be around, because I don't know if snow is it, I just don't think that snow is it. All right, that was a huge tangent that I was 100% not planning on going on, but there you go. Sometimes when you listen to this podcast, you get my tangents, and I could apologize for it, except then I'd be apologizing for me, and I don't want to do that, and I don't want you to ever have to apologize for who you are either, unless you really, really hurt someone, and then maybe it's appropriate to apologize. You get to decide in that case, right? I'm not you. I don't know. I don't think that needs to be apologized for. It's just who I am. I like to go on tangents. But let's get back to the topic of today, which is learning to self-regulate. And I think this is a really important topic because my whole thing as a coach is teaching you how to understand and create a better relationship with yourself and with your body and with who you are and with your intuition and your soul and all of that. I want to reconnect you to you. And part of that journey is reconnecting yourself to what you're feeling inside of your body. And so much of what we feel inside of our body is our emotions, right? Our emotions are inside of us. They create sensations and movement and different feelings that are happening inside. And that also comes about when our central nervous system is out of regulation, is dysregulated, when we are triggered by things. And when we can learn to self-regulate, we gain so much control over our own selves. We reconnect with ourselves in a profound way that is often the missing link to being able to realize and create amazing things in your life, realize and make decisions from a place of knowing, from a place of trust, It's such a beautiful thing. So I think that learning to self-regulate can really be a game changer for so many of you, myself included. This is something that I'm continuing to work on as well. And again, this is like one of those things where it's not really a destination. It's not like, okay, I've learned to self-regulate and now I'm perfect at it. And now I do it every time. And I never, once I feel a negative emotion, I immediately can regulate myself out of it and get back into alignment. Or once I feel triggered and my nervous system goes into fight or flight, I'm immediately able to regulate myself again. No. Okay, let's be real here. That is not what I'm talking about. I don't even think that's a real thing, that you could actually just get to this place where you're not really human anymore. You just don't feel emotions and you don't get triggered and your body is always in alignment and always regulated. I just don't think it's real. So I don't want to give you that perception and have you going into this thinking that like, I'm going to learn to self-regulate and then my life is going to be like a breeze all the time. No. It's not, right? We're still going to have emotions. We're still going to be human. We're still going to get triggered by things. We're still going to feel things that don't feel very good. We're going to still feel out of sync sometimes with ourselves. That's okay. But self-regulation is when you can learn how to do it, you can manage those moments a little bit better. You can treat yourself with more kindness in those moments when you feel out of sync. So let me tell you what self-regulation is, because maybe you're like, I don't even know. What is she even talking about? Like self-regulation? Okay, maybe it's just like a woke word or something. Like what even is that? All right, so self-regulation is when you are able to manage yourself, your behavior, and your reactions to an emotional response that you might be having. So it's kind of like you're living your life and then something happens, like a situation happens that's out of your control. And for whatever reason, maybe you know why, maybe you don't know why, you have a strong emotional response. It could be your nervous system response. It could just be an emotion that you're feeling, you're trying to work through, and it kind of throws you offline. Basically, like you're out of sync with yourself, right? Your mind, body, soul experience, you're kind of out of sync with those things. And so when you learn to self-regulate, instead of overreacting or reacting or behaving in a way that you kind of don't want to, you learn to self-regulate or manage your emotional response by bringing yourself back online, by calming your nervous system down, by regulating your nervous system, by allowing the emotion to be within you instead of needing to suppress it or needing to fix it right away. You are realigning yourself with you, even if it's just for a few moments, right? Maybe it's only for a minute and then you're going to go back to what you were feeling before. That's okay. It's not a problem. But here's what's really great about learning to self-regulate. Once you learn to do this, and I'm going to teach you a couple of techniques on the podcast today that you can start to implement today and figure out the ones that you like, the ones that you want to do more of, the ones you want to keep trying. Because once you can apply these techniques, you can do them while you're still remaining completely engaged in your life, while you're living your life, while you're doing all of the things. So are you excited? I hope so, because I'm just going to teach you very simple techniques that you can try on and use and see what works for you. All right, so I'm just going to give you a couple of techniques or methods, if you will, on ways that you can kind of invoke relaxation inside your body, inside your central nervous system, to calm it down, to regulate it, and allow yourself to realign, to bring yourself back online. Okay, so this first method is soft palate relaxation. And the first time I did this, I was so in my head. And so if you find yourself being very in your head and in your thoughts and in wondering if you're doing it right or wrong, it's totally fine. That is normal, I promise you. I'm very good at getting into my head when I try something new and questioning, like, I don't know if I'm doing this right. I'm probably doing it wrong. What if everybody else is doing it different than me? Like, I totally am like that. I judge myself a lot in that way. And so if you do that too, it's totally fine. Just bring it back to that interoception and try and refocus on what is happening in your focused area inside your body. And with this one, it is going to be with your soft palate. So that is like the roof of your mouth, basically. And so you want to just sit comfortably and you want to shift your focus to the muscles along the roof of your mouth. And this might be something new to you. It was completely new to me. I had never paid attention before to the muscles on the roof of my mouth. So if that is new for you, It's totally fine. We're in the same boat. And then you just want to do your best to relax the tension that you feel in that area, okay? Then you want to expand the focus out to the jaw and your face muscles. So just release all the tension in those muscles. And next, as they're relaxed, silently say the letter R to yourself with your mouth and try and maintain that subtle arch that you get when you say R that it creates in the roof of your mouth, okay? So just try and maintain that like shape of your mouth for 5 seconds. Then let it go, relax, and then I want you to do that a couple more times. Go inside, go to that interoception, pay attention to the soft palate, relax it, then expand the area to your jaw and your face. Silently say the letter R and keep that arch that comes in your mouth when you say it and hold it for 5 seconds. Try it on your own. You can pause the podcast if you need to. You can try it afterwards, see what works for you, and just notice when you're done if it creates any kind of relaxation, alignment, centeredness for yourself and your body, okay? Remember, what we're trying to do is we are learning to self-regulate. So if you're triggered or if you're feeling a sense of overwhelming emotional response, this is something you can do to help relax, to help let go of that overwhelming sense of emotional response, to help realign and recenter your central nervous system. All right, the next method that I want you to try out is belly breathing. This is a technique where you're going to actually be breathing with your diaphragm. So what you want to do is place one hand on your diaphragm, which is right below your rib cage. So you place one hand there and the other hand on your upper chest. And as you breathe, you want to make sure that you are watching and feeling your diaphragm rising and falling. So watching that hand, feeling that hand moving in and out, rising and falling. That means that you're breathing with your diaphragm. So breathe in slow through your nose so that your stomach moves out against your hand. Make sure that that breath lasts for about 5 seconds. Pay attention to what's happening in your body. Pay attention to the air filling up your lungs. Pay attention to the sensation of the air coming in. And trying to, as much as you can, making sure that the hand on your chest remains as still as possible. And then tighten your stomach muscles. Let them fall inward as you exhale through your lips, allowing that hand on your chest to remain as still as possible. And then repeat this a couple more times, 3 or 4 more times. And notice the relaxation in your body. Notice your body realigning itself to you. Notice what is going on inside your body. When you can take your thoughts out of your head and start to pay attention or observe what is going on in these moments of breath work, in these moments of relaxation of certain muscles, and just paying attention to that instead of spinning in the thoughts, what you're doing is you are allowing yourself moments of being present. And being present is where healing happens. Being present is where you realign with who you are. It's in the spinning of the thoughts in the future and in the past where trauma continues to occur. Now, we want to be with ourselves, present in the moment as much as possible. So the third method that I'm going to teach you is focusing on your peripheral vision. And I like this one the best only because I can do this when I'm like even having a conversation with someone, even listening to someone, watching television, on a Zoom meeting, all of the things. I can do it when other people are around and they don't even know I'm doing it. The breathing maybe is a little more noticeable, right? You're not going to probably maybe put your hand on your chest and your diaphragm during a Zoom call or in a meeting at work or something like that. But this peripheral vision one, you can totally do when other people are around. They don't even know you're doing it, which is pretty cool. So you want to focus ahead on what you are looking at for 5 to 10 seconds. And then you're going to shift your focus to your peripheral vision without moving the direction of your eyes. You only want to focus on what is happening to the side of you. Start with your left, or your right, whichever side you would like to start with, and just kind of notice, observe what you can see in your peripheral vision for 5 seconds. Simultaneously to the right, then to the left, then back to the right, then back to the left, noticing it for a few seconds each direction. And all the while, your eyes, your head, all of that is not turning, all of that is not changing. You are just taking a moment to refocus on, instead of what's right in front of you, to the right and left. Again, this is just the magic of really bringing you to the present moment, to what is going on for you. And it's allowing yourself to realign with your central nervous system. Those are the 3 methods. I hope that these work for you so that you do feel more regulated when it comes to your emotional responses, so that you do feel more relaxed and more present, which I promise is where all of the healing is going to happen for you. All right, my friends, thank you so much for being here. Thank you for listening to my tangents. Thank you for listening to me teaching these methods. I love you so much for being here, and I will talk to you next week. If you like what you're learning on the podcast and you're ready to create lasting change and results in your life, then you need to be working one-on-one with Karen as your divorce coach. This is where we take everything you're learning in the podcast and 10x it with implementation and weekly coaching, where you start to see change in yourself and your life immediately. To find out more about how to work exclusively with Karen, go to www.karennelsoncoaching.com. That's www.KarinNelsoncoaching.com. Thanks for listening. If this podcast agreed with you in any way, please take a minute to follow and give it a rating wherever you listen to podcasts. And for more details about how I can help you live an even better life than when you were married, make sure and check out the full show notes by clicking the link in the description.